Breaking. Harlem just witnessed the ultimate clapback of the century. And if you thought Dame Dash was untouchable, think again. Ma Dollar and Cam'ron. Yes. The legends themselves just straight up shredded the so-called
Killer was good, man.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, man. Today I almost cried thinking about you, man.
Cam started crying, man.
For real. How you doing these days, man?
I see you every day. This morning, I literally see you every day. So just this morning,
Cam going up against me is like Fredo going up against Michael Corleone. He's Cameo.
Yo, just this morning you gonna cry for me?
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. Well, I'm good.
You never told me about you and Big L and Dame being in the car.
I was on my way to the hill, me, him, and Big L. And I made a left on Amsterdam into a checkpoint, and I didn't have a license. But at that time, they didn't really always lock you up, but they sometimes did. So I was like, yo, I think I can get out of this, but I'm just letting y'all know I got 3 bricks in the car, but I'll wear it.
Wow.
boss of hip-hop on live air. And the internet hasn't been the same since. How does a man who once ran Rockefeller like a king end up becoming the punchline of his own city? How do 2 Harlem icons, built from nothing, make a titan of hype look like a lost tourist in his own neighborhood? We're talking verbal annihilation, so savage. It's got Twitter on fire, TikTok blowing up, and Instagram comment sections straight up rioting. From wild anecdotes about Big L, drug stories that may or may not be true, to social media receipts that are dripping with receipts, this isn't just a roast. This is a cultural execution. And the best part, Dame Dash didn't even see it coming. Fans are calling it the Harlem reset we didn't know we needed. So buckle up, because we're about to dig into every shocking, hilarious, and jaw-dropping moment of how Ma Dollar and Cam'ron just humiliated one of hip-hop's loudest legends. And trust me, you're gonna want to see exactly how it went down. Alright, listen up, because what just went down in Harlem is nothing short of legendary, and it is guaranteed to make every single
Yeah, yo, I seen that. I seen that. I didn't know me, Big L, and Dame was in the car together.
Cam started crying, man. And he told us right then and there that he would put himself in PC. Dad, I'm putting myself in PC. Me and Big L like, what? What?
I didn't even know that me, Big L, and Dame have ever been in the car together.
Oh, man.
You know what's great? I was going to save that for my show because I didn't want to get into this. I really didn't want to get into it.
I was going to mind my business, but I saw Mo with the popcorn. I said, he's taking my part,
Hey,
boss.
I've never, look at Mo got the
I might as well talk with Flea.
So we went to the side and was like, you know, afterwards we were laughing, but we were like, I was like, I will never hustle with him. He's a ball player and he does music. So I never really, he's a civilian. But you can't be saying you the best that ever did it in Harlem and you never sold drugs. And if you had to go to Ohio after you was a rapper, that's not the best that ever did it. How dare you say some shit like
hip-hop fan rethink who really runs the city. On one side, you have Dame Dash, the man who once ruled the Rockefeller era like a king. The guy who strutted next to Jay-Z and screamed about being a boss while flashing diamonds like a walking headline. The man whose ego has been on permanent display for decades. And then, on the other side, you have Ma Dollar and Cam'ron, 2 of Harlem's finest who built everything from scratch. Number labels, no handouts, just raw talent, street intelligence, and an instinct for entertainment that makes them untouchable. And now, after years of Dame trying to attach himself to every success story in Harlem, claiming credit for every hit, every movement, every moment of glory that wasn't even remotely his idea, he decided to step into the spotlight again and say that he was the inspiration behind Ma Dollar and Cam'ron's hit show. It is what it is. Can you imagine? The audacity of telling 2 men who literally built a cultural phenomenon from the ground up that they owe their energy and success to you. The Harlem streets didn't take that lightly, and social media exploded almost immediately. Clips of the interview surfaced and the reactions were brutal, with fans calling Dame delusional, saying he's living in 2002, and questioning how a man who
Now I'm gonna say for totally, but I didn't know that was such a liar. Like, you know how your man is your man, so you probably don't be annoyed. Like You that's your man. You be like, nah, you just hate us. I didn't know this a lot like that, man.
Yeah.
First of all, let me tell you something. And last I'm saying to talk Flea, but Mace, no.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, bro. Big L is not your man. This whole shit don't even make no sense. First of all, I'll say this real quick because we got to move on. Me, you, and Big L going to get drugs or riding around Harlem don't even sound right. Big L didn't fuck with you. I tried to plug you into Big L when you wanted to sign him when he started his own label, Flamboyant. And y'all was trying to sign him. But Big L brother, Big Lee and Reg, they didn't like you. If you had 3 bricks in the car, or you was on the way to get 3 bricks in the car, or on the way to get bricks, whatever fucking lie you told, story you told, you wouldn't have made it home. Big L lines niggas. Mace, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You lied to me. So,
Yo, Big
you
L.
got a point there.
That's right.
Yeah, you quick on your feet.
Big L lines niggas like barbers, my nigga. You wouldn't have made it home, my nigga. Stop that. Yo, it's really, you going out bad, bro. Stop lying, my nigga. Me, you, and Big L have never been nowhere to get no work or had no work or stopped in a checkpoint or nothing, my nigga. You going out bad, but I'll just sit on talk with Flea Murder. But yeah, man, you might need to say a prayer for me.
Yeah.
Who never touched a microphone or produced a beat, suddenly thinks he is the blueprint for modern Harlem greatness. What makes this even more explosive is the backstory, the history of tension that has been quietly simmering for years. Dame has a reputation for sliding into studios uninvited, giving advice nobody asked for, and then acting like his presence alone is enough to claim ownership over someone else's grind. Ma Dollar E and Cameron, on the other hand, have been quietly building their empire, showing up, putting in the work, and refusing to let nostalgia and loud talking define their legacy. When Dame tried to insert himself into their story, it wasn't just an insult, it was a provocation. A spark that lit up an entire city that has been waiting for someone to call him out. And that call out didn't come softly. It came in the form of a roast so sharp, so calculated, so full of Harlem pride, that the world watched as the so-called boss became the punchline of his own narrative. The fallout from Dame Dash's bold claims didn't take long to explode across Harlem and the internet, and the reactions were savage. Anonymous sources from inside the music scene told us that people have been quietly watching Dame try to ride the coattails of success for years. But this time, it backfired spectacularly. Eyewitnesses reported that during the live taping of Ma Dollar E and Cameron S. show,
Larry, what did you have to say about this? If y'all don't know, you keep bringing Larry's name up. He'd be like, yeah, I gave you Larry.
I put you with Larry.
Pause.
Because your show, you're sitting next to Larry. I introduced you to Larry.
Man, I got a lot, but a little.
First of all,
I'm the reason why he got sued.
But what happened was Larry and I and Muddy Waters, the people that are suing me now, we all threw down on a movie and there was a disagreement of some sort. And this is the reason why I have all these lawsuits now. And I don't like the way Larry did his business and he hung up on me.
boom. Let's move on to A-Track. He told me I ain't supposed to support an A-Track album. One day Dame like, yo, this nigga ain't A-Track, he's nice, da 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 da. I'm like, all right, cool. Dame got an ear, he know what's going on. Let's do it. A-Track come to my house. This probably 2013, 14. I got a studio in my house. He come to my house, this word to everything I love. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm cooking, I'm doing songs. I'm in the middle of shuffling. You can ask anybody who there. Rocky, Dave's wife, his assistant, they all still around. Ask them. I'm shuffling, doing songs. I cooked a full course meal and knocked out 7 songs in like an hour and a half. 7 songs. And cooked everybody food, sandwiches, all that. That's me. That's how well-rounded I am. Dave can't deny you ask him.
the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and as soon as Dame's name came up, the duo started dropping truth bombs with a precision that left everyone in the studio laughing and gasping at the same time. One insider, who asked to remain unnamed, said that Dame's antics have included everything from claiming he influenced every Harlem artist who ever sold a record to showing up in studios, demanding recognition for things he never actually did. Sources even hinted at lavish spending sprees on parties and events meant to impress and intimidate younger talent, creating a smoke and mirrors reputation that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Social media immediately lit up with memes, reaction videos, and posts calling Dame the unpaid life coach of Harlem, and joking about his attempts to invoice Ma Dollar E and Cameron for inspiration that nobody asked for. Fans were relentless, piling onto the narrative with clips that highlighted how Dame's claims were contradicted by actual receipts of studio sessions, collaborations, and years of work done independently by the Harlem legends, people began sharing old interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and accounts from other artists who confirmed that Dame's version of history often doesn't match reality. Public opinion was turning fast, and it wasn't subtle. Hashtags started trending mocking him.
He tell you, he like, damn, Kim, you in here doing rhymes and cooking and yeah, man, take a turkey wing, man, get a lamb chop, nigga. Let me go in the booth with these bars. And you dropping fire like that, boom, yeah, cool. I knocked the whole album out, maybe 2 trips. When Dame was there, it was cool. The album was cool. As soon as Dame leave, A-Track, and he my duty, all that, he's cool. Me and him have no problems. But he becomes all artsy. Do you think that if we put the snare where the treble should be, and then boom, we get another beat, A-Track, the done. Yo, what are you talking about? I put a marvelous masterpiece together while I was cooking. I think we should get this person on something. All right, bet, do what you want. I gave you the boss. 2 years passed. Like, yo, let's freshen up the album. All right, cool. Go in the studio again. We go in the studio again in my crib. I knocked some more shit out for the nigga. He got some features on there. All right, cool. I knocked it out again 2 years later. He calls me again, A-Track. Well, I think if I get this other beat, man, do what you want to do. I don't even know you like that. I'm not being cool, A-Track. I want to brush him off like I don't know him now. Another 2 years come back. We in Vegas now. Yo, Larry got a studio in Vegas. Let's go there and knock the A-Track out. Again? It's 5 years. I bet. Fine. Go to the studio, man. Fuck it. 5 years done pass. I knock it out again. Some more. A-Track called me about 18 months later talking about, you want to do? No, I don't want to do nothing else, man. No. I knocked it out the first 48, but you want to keep doing shit over and over and over. Then when I hear the final, he calls me another 2 years. So now the album is like 9 years old. He calls me and says, yo, I think I got distribution. Man, I don't give a fuck about that album, man. The fuck you talking about we got distribution? Man, don't do whatever with that shit. It's a decade old. I don't give a fuck.
Then he gets that honor up, and it's a lie what he said. It was a lie. So I'm like, why is he lying? And then I'm like, he knows Mook is in there. Pause. In the movie, Smoke DZA, my OG Daniel, Black, my whole crew. So you're trying to diss my whole crew and make what they did whack.
As the guy who yells loudest in the room but contributes the least. The cultural weight of this scandal became even heavier as commentators pointed out that Dame has a pattern of trying to claim ownership over the wins of others. From early Dipset days to current Harlem projects, but Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron were sending a loud, undeniable message that the new era doesn't need his validation. Fans, critics, and fellow artists watched as the roast unfolded like a masterclass in humility disguised as comedy. Every joke, every smirk, every story shared by Ma, E, and Cam'ron landed like evidence in a court of public opinion. And by the time the segment ended, it was clear that Harlem had taken a side, and it was not with Dame Dash. The city that once revered him was now laughing at him, while Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron walked away, victorious, their legacy untouchable, and their message crystal clear. By the time the smoke cleared, the fallout from this Harlem showdown had reached every corner of social media, blogs, and even casual conversations on the streets. And it was clear that Dame Dash was no longer the uncontested figure he once was. Observers noted that his attempts to lecture the younger generation about ownership and legacy now sounded more like desperation than authority. And multiple anonymous sources suggested that, behind the scenes, some of his closest allies were questioning his strategy and public approach. Financial insiders jokingly speculated about the missed opportunities and questionable investments he had made over the years, implying that his focus on self-promotion over tangible results might have cost him both credibility and influence. Meanwhile, Ma Dollar, E, and Cam'ron were being praised for turning what could have been a tense confrontation into content, humor, and cultural dominance, demonstrating that influence in Harlem is no longer dictated by loud proclamations but by actual action and relevance. Fans began dissecting every clip, every smirk, and every anecdote shared during the roast, pointing out
says it's good. It was in the New York Times. Kanye gave the illest premiere and everyone said it was, everyone has said that. Why would you say that?
Promote it. I'm saving you by not promoting it. It was nasty. You my man. I ain't gonna let you go outside like that. All them other niggas who let you go outside like that, they ain't your man. To me, this has been one big setup. I will say that. I think this whole from the jump is a setup, bro. Dame is beefing with 50 Cent on the internet. I bump into 50 Cent. 50 Cent sees me and be like, Killer, what's up, nigga? Getting some money. You not, oh, nigga, what you used to do back in the days, pat nigga pocket, you getting
Post, pointing out the undeniable truth that while Dame claimed to have taught the Harlem icons everything they know, the evidence pointed to a man who contributed attitude but never actually built the platforms or created the moments that defined their careers. Social media commentary ranged from outright ridicule to shocked admiration for Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron's ability to navigate the situation with intelligence and humor. And discussions about the generational shift in Harlem leadership became trending topics, with cultural analysts noting that the city respects work and results over nostalgia and ego. Even longtime supporters of Dame began questioning why he continues to tie himself to success stories that he was never actively part of, and some suggested that if he wanted to regain influence, the approach would have to be radically different, focusing on mentorship, collaboration, and genuine contribution rather than loud declarations. In the end, the situation reinforced a simple but powerful message for Harlem and the broader hip-hop community. The era of claiming credit without action is over, and the new wave of leaders will dictate the culture on their own terms, using humor, strategy, and creativity as their weapons. As Dame Dash
pat nigga pocket, you getting that money? Cool. Me and 50 good. We ain't got no problem. Dame calls me and says, yo, I seen 50. How you gonna let him pap you up? This is verbatim what Dame said. I'm telling the audience verbatim. Yo, I seen 50, you and 50. How you gonna let them pap your pockets? That ain't Harlem.
We not, Harlem niggas don't do the Pat Pat Club. When you see niggas from Harlem, just give them a pound.
You down with the Pat Pat Club?
We not in the Pat Pat Club.
How you down with the Pat Pat Club? Letting niggas pat your pockets.
Yo, why he giving you the Pat Pat?
Their pockets. I say, damn, I don't give a fuck. Now, mind you, pause this story right there. If you gonna say something about 50 cents, what are you calling me for to get my okay if you're beefing with 50 cents? You shouldn't even have to call me about that if you're gonna be talking about 50 cents. Dame gets on the blog and says, yeah, and this nigga Cam let 50 Cent smack him on the ass.
You know, 50 patted him on his hips twice. He gave him a pat pat. So I'm like, yo, why he smacking Cam on his ass like that? Pause, like what? And
said it, and I'm like, yo, why would he say that? I called and asked you. I asked you, could I say that? That's not what you asked, could you say, because I wouldn't agree to that. I did not agree.
Watched from the sidelines, Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron had turned the entire narrative into a masterclass in dominance without confrontation, proving that real power comes from building, evolving, and staying relevant, while ego and empty claims only make for viral punchlines that fade quickly but leave the record of who really runs the city crystal clear. So now that you've seen it all, the question is simple: who really runs Harlem, and who's just talking loud while everyone else does the work? Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron just made it clear that legacy isn't about shouting your name or hanging on to the past. It's about results, it's about influence, and it's about knowing when to step up and when to let your actions do the talking.
They honor up his whack, and he go on this campaign.
I think the narrative should be stop talking about Damon so much if you don't want to hear Damon talk.
You come talking about me with an eye patch and no top teeth, I gotta take it easy? I don't.
But do remember, I will have teeth next week. How?
So I think it's good for him. I think the internet nowadays is therapy for him. And he turned into the chatty patty that he told everybody else not to be. He probably can't afford to go to therapy right now. So this is probably good for him because he needs therapy.
The talking. Dame Dash tried to rewrite history, but history doesn't lie, and the streets have already spoken. Now it's your turn. Do you side with the loud legend clinging to old glory? Or do you salute the new kings who built something from nothing and aren't afraid to call out the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we need to hear what you think. Was this roast a savage, or did Dame Dash bring it on himself? Who do you think will dominate Harlem next? And is there anyone left who can challenge Ma Dollar E and Cam'ron's reign? Hit that like button if you're all about realness over ego. And make sure to subscribe because we're just getting started with uncovering the truth behind hip-hop's biggest clashes. Stay tuned, because in this city, the story is never over, and the next move could change everything.